As it happens, I love Henshin heroes. I find stories of people who transform for the strength that can complement their selfless pursuit of justice to be particularly inspiring. While I can look towards previous decades for a long legacy of shows that encapsulate the qualities I have become enamored with in the anime space, the genre is much less prevalent now. Sure, we have heroes who fight, people who transform, but we don't quite have so many transforming superheroes like the ones that I put this helmet on in memory of. When it comes to anime, Henshin heroes seem to be a genre of the past, like mecha and magical girls. But when things seem the most bleak is when a hero emerges, and that hero now is Metallic Rouge, whose first episode has just been released. Does this show have what it takes to pick up the mantle of the modern Henshin hero anime? Let's find out by looking at the first episode. It's smack time!
Action Smacchan!
Much of this first episode is used to show us the world. We're in a cyberpunk Mars where people have clearly not been told to smile enough. We have what seems to be a type of android called neons, living alongside humans. There does seem to be an abusable power dynamic between the androids and humans, where people can easily screw over neons, and the neons can do nothing in retaliation or self-defense. It's such a classic struggle, and every time I see it I have to resist, comparing it to my favorite thing in the world. After getting in the mood with the setting, we get introduced to Rouge, our unassuming main character who might be a bit of a pushover and stands in the back corner of the party where people don't even realize she's a Henshin hero main character. She has this thing for chocolate. So far it comes off as a cute quirk. She'll take a candy bar over the nutritional value of an actual meal. Over ramen. And if you follow us on social media, you know how we feel about ramen. It could be a representation of a character flaw satisfying a craving of something that makes her feel happy over something more practical or long-lasting. If we look into the motives of the first episode's villain, we could draw the parallel between reaching for a chocolate over a meal and pursuing personal happiness over the peace in the community, but I could totally be reaching, and Rouge is just into candy bars, and that's cool. Maybe that's why she's so easy to push around.
Watch it.
My cute girl needs protein stat. We do get a good sign-off at the end of the episode where she gets handed a candy bar. It could be a way for gratifying her for work well done, assuring that what she did was right. Or perhaps it was her way of coping with things and keeping her head on. Reaching again? Yeah, maybe. I do hope that this chocolate craving of hers does set up for something later on, but as it is, it's a quick way of giving her some identity while not giving her character direct spotlight. Who's the main character? Oh, it's my sweet girl right here. Rouge does have a slight air of mystery to her. In this first episode, we don't get any of her motivations, but we do see pretty quickly that she has her own intentions. When we get introduced to the concept of the mistreatment of Aeons by humans and the sort of MacGuffin androids need to survive called nectar, it is notable that she doesn't jump in to save the neon, not even to scratch the back that scratched hers, and while knowing the consequences of neons not getting nectar. But one might even get a sense of remorse when she stops to see that neon get trashed after not getting the nectar. I like to think that whatever mission she's on right now takes priority over that one life more so than to assume Rouge is just cold. Her aloof actions do lend themselves to suspicions set against her later on in the episode. The writing here does a good job making us uncertain who the hero is, even though Rouge's face is all over the promotions and stuff. We don't know her motives, and we definitely see what we would assume is her attacking someone shown to be a pretty nice lady. It's even ambiguous whether Rouge is aware that she's a transforming badass, since they show that she has some sort of memory malfunction. In short, they make it hard to trust Rouge, so it's understandable to not trust Rouge. But that same nice lady, who goes by the name of Sarah, seems to be associated with someone who carries around a Joker card, and when somebody has a Joker card in a superhero show, you don't side with them. Unless... yeah, she's a baddie. Sarah is actually the character we get the most straightforward characterization for. We learn her motives and follow some of her point of view during this episode, thus making her a more sympathetic character. Doing this definitely makes for a bittersweet ending to the episode that I like, Although the specifics of her situation kind of go by fast for me, as much of her characterization comes from one conversation with Joker Guy. We're told about her efforts and sacrifices leading up to the events of the episode. I kind of struggle with how I feel about this conversation. It's a lot of things told to us, but the information that's told is complementary to the information that has been shown to us. It contextualizes some things that we've seen momentarily in previous scenes, like her relationship to Cigar Guy. We're also shown how manipulative the Joker Guy is. He manages to convince Sarah that Rouge is out to get her by asking Sarah if she can think of anyone that has approached her recently. But clearly Sarah is the one that approached Rouge in the flashback. Rouge was definitely just chilling. Is this what gaslighting is? Granted, at the end of the day, he wasn't wrong. Rouge is out to get people, Sarah included. Can you imagine throwing someone under the bus, but then it turns out they were already there? I also like that it takes place in a confessional. Perhaps it's ironic, as it is a scene where we are getting a sense of everything Sarah is guilty of as she puts on a front of being a nice lady. The scene is a perverse confession, in that her sins are being told to her by Joker Guy. For those unaware, that's not what goes down in confessionals. I see it as a way to further convey the abusive relationship between Sarah and Joker Guy. And this is definitely a scene I had to watch a few times, as it's so dense, and that sentiment can be extended to the rest of the episode. It feels very dense. It had to introduce the world, the antagonist, the character of the week, and the main characters, all in one episode. Oh crap, I almost forgot to talk about Naomi. She's a bird, but just kidding. She's a cute girl with a killer ponytail. She's like Rouge's guy in the chair, but she isn't in a chair. She's over in much more dangerous proximity to the action. Her personality is a lot more vivid, which balances well with Rouge's aloof, wallflowery mellowtude. She doesn't get a lot of spotlight in this episode, but we get enough of her to get a sense for what we may expect with her relationship with Rouge, and yes, I look forward to that. So all in all, this show is delivering on my expectations. Is it the true inheritor of the Henshin Hero spirit that I've been yearning for in the modern era of anime? Hard to say since it's the first episode, but I think it's on a solid track. But yeah, in the comments let me know if this first episode delivered on your expectations of the show. Are you going to keep up with it as new episodes release? And if you had fun along with me, go ahead and give this video a like and share it with a friend so that they too can become a fellow hero. And if you haven't already, go ahead and action smack that subscribe button so that's easier to keep up with all the content that we're rolling out. And did you know that our live streams and gaming content has been moved to its own channel? We now have the Pixel Smacchan channel. We stream Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So do come by, hang out, and let's have a good smack time. And as always, thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in the next Smacchan Pact adventure.